friends, Christy here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. Today, I am very excited to be going over all of the books that you have recommended to me to add onto my recommendations cart for 2024. In total, there were 121 recommendations. There were quite a few that multiple people recommended to me, and unfortunately, they don't all fit on my cart. So I have some stacks here of books that are going to go in different places, and I'll probably go through those first, and then we will run through everything that is on the cart. I'm very excited about the cart this year. As I was building it and putting all the books on there, it just made me excited. Before I get to telling you what's actually on the cart, I just wanted to let you know about one more fun way that this can be interactive between us this year. First of all, you've given me your recommendations, which is fabulous. I have gone and created not only my spreadsheet, of course, for the year, which I've already added how many pages each book has and its rating on Goodreads, its current rating. Ratings will change and fluctuate, I'm sure, throughout the year, but I'm not gonna worry about that. But I've added its rating currently as well as the pages. But I also made a list on Goodreads that I will link down in the description below, where you can go and vote for as many books as you want me to actually read this year. There are 100 books on the list. I couldn't fit all of them. I sorted my spreadsheet in order of rating, and I started from the highest rated, and that's how I added the 100 books. You can go in now and vote for which books do you think I should prioritize throughout the year. That's just another fun way. You've already given me your recommendations, and this is one more way. Now that you will, after this video, see everything that's on the cart, you can go and let me know which ones you think I would like the most, which ones you think I should definitely read. The link is down in the description below. But now let's get into the actual books. First, we're going to go through some of the books that didn't quite make it onto the cart. They didn't fit. The first three I didn't put on because they are on my January TBR. So that's kind of fun. I shall read these pretty quickly. So the first one is Ghost by Jason Reynolds. This is a middle grade. It's on my January TBR. My Patreon book club book for January is The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich. And the third January TBR book is The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young. So these three are going to go in my basket where I keep my TBR books for the month. And I should say at the top here, I'm not going to be describing all of these books. I'm not going to be saying very much about them. There are 121 books to talk about, so we're going to go pretty quickly through the list. The next two that are not going on the cart are because they are on my 12 books to read in 2024, so they have a separate place to live already on my shelves, and that is Bellwether by Susanna Kearsley and Poison Study by Maria V. Schneider. These ones have been on the list for a few years, so it's about time I actually read them. The next two that are not going on the cart are because they are Christmas book exchange books, and so they have their own cart to live on. One of them is The Last House on the Street by Diane Chamberlain and Coal River by Ellen Marie Wiseman. Then I have 6 adult books that just didn't fit, and I can probably slide some of them in the spaces, but I also use that when I'm doing lives and stuff to put my notebook and my phone. So we'll see. But the ones that didn't fit are towards the end of the alphabet. The Winners by Frederick Bachman, the third in the Beartown series. It would be great to finish that this year. The Wishtress by Nadine Brandis, or just Wishtress, excuse me. Christian fantasy. Looking forward to that one. Song of the Jade Lily by Kirsty Manning. And then I have 3 Book of the Month, which I probably will just put back up on my Book of the Month shelf. But they don't fit on the cart. The River We Remember by William Kent Kruger, What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez, and The Spectacular by Fiona Davis. So those will probably go right back up onto the Book of the Month shelf in my room. I think I will actually go through the cart next and then save the middle grade for the end, because not everybody is interested in middle grade, but the middle grade books are going to have their own shelf or their own space on my middle grade shelf. So I'll save the middle grade for the end, and now we will just go through everything that's on the cart. So yeah, I'm not going to pull them all out. They fit in there really perfectly right now. So sorry about not seeing covers, but I will say the title and the author's name. So if you need to pause and write a book down, but again, I'm not giving descriptions. Everything just fits so well right now. then I'm just going to leave them in there for the most part. We've got The 49th Mystic by Ted Dekker, Christian fiction. A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. The Bandit Queens is one of my NetGalley books. That's by Parini Sharaf. The Circus Train, another historical fiction. This is by, oh man, I can't remember. Amita Parikh. Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. Flight Girls by Noelle Salazar. Florence Adler Swims Forever by Rachel Beanland. The Forgotten Home Child by Genevieve Graham. The Henna Artist by Alka Joshi. Her Mother's Hope by Francine Rivers. And Homecoming by Kate Morton. These are the ones that are not alphabetized because I needed all my tall books to go up on top because they don't fit as well in here. Keeping it just paperbacks down here allows me to do both sides. So now we're going alphabetically by title. So we have The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and Disappeared. And this is by who? Jonas Jonasson. A Home for Unloved Orphans by Rachel Wesson. A Memory of Violets by Hazel Gaynor. African Town by Irene Latham and Charles Waters. I might find a new home for this mass market. This is The Amazing Mrs. Paulifax. I think this is book 2. I do have book 1 coming from Pango. I ordered it, so it's being shipped as we speak. And The Mountains Echoed by Colin Hosseini. It's my last, I think he has 3 only. This is the 3rd one that I need to read from him. At Bertram's Hotel by Agatha Christie. Caroline by Sarah Miller, kind of a reimagining or retelling of Ma from Little House on the Prairie. The Curious Charms of Arthur Pepper by Phaedra Patrick. Dead in Gondola, a cozy mystery by Anne Clare. Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie. The Diamond Eye by Kate Quinn. Dragonfly by Leila Meacham. And 50 Words for Rain by Asha Lemmy. I will pull out this bottom row because they're not in frame. So The Girls in the Still House by Kelly Mustian. Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. The Great Circle by Maggie Shipstead. Goodnight from London by Jennifer Robson. The Island of Sea Women by Lisa C. The How and the Why by Cynthia Hand. This is actually going to stay off the cart and go over onto my Christmas book exchange cart because this was from this year's book exchange. The Haunting of Maddie Clare by Simone St. James. We have Mariana by Susanna Kearsley. The Lions of Fifth Avenue by Fiona Davis. Second one by her on the shelf. The Lights of Sugarberry Cove by Heather Weber. The Last Checkmate by Gabriella Saab. The only classic, I mean, other than Agatha Christie and the Mrs. Paulifax books, Middlemarch by George Eliot. Oh my word. I'm very intimidated by this one. But I might just start it in March and do it kind of as a slow and steady. I don't know. I might need to be convinced about that. We'll see. The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. Miss Benson's Beetle by Rachel Joyce. And The Mother-in-Law by Sally Hepworth. Now I'm going to put these ones back on and then spin the card around. Okay. On the other side, I have 2 mass market paperbacks up here, The Shell Seekers and Live and Let Chai by Bree Baker. This one's by Rosamund Pilcher. And then I have a few that, because with the hardbacks, I can't put them pages to pages. So these ones are out facing. So we've got The Magpie Murders by Anthony Horowitz. Luck of the Titanic by Stacey Lee. The Lost Girls of Paris by Pam Jenoff. And The Light Pirate by Lily Brooks Dalton. And then on this side, we have Wayward by Amelia Hart. The Invisible Hour by Alice Hoffman. Independence by Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni. And then The House of Eve by Satiko Johnson. And Heart in the Highlands by Heidi Kimball. Down here, I have one more stack of out-facing books. The Violin Conspiracy by Brendan Slocum. River Sing Me Home by Eleanor Shearer. The Rent Collector by Cameron Wright. Peach Blossom Spring by Melissa Fu. And Miss Austen by Jill Hornby. Then moving on this shelf, I have No Two Persons by Erica Bauermeister. The Note Through the Wire by Doug Gold. One Night on the Island by Josie Silver. The Orphan House by Anne Bennett. The Power of One by Bryce Courtney. September by Rosamund Pilcher. The Shadowy Horses by Susanna Kearsley. And She Wouldn't Change a Thing by Sarah Adlaka. And then down on the bottom row of this side, I have Skyward by Brandon Sanderson, the second Sally Hepworth, The Things We Keep. I just realized there are 3 Brandon Sanderson books. Words of Radiance is over in my January bucket. I forgot to pull it out for today's video. So that's my third. Skyward is my third Brandon Sanderson. The Things We Keep by Sally Hepworth, the second one by her on the shelf. The Swiss Nurse by Mario Escobar. The Sweetness of Forgetting by Kristen Harmel. Surviving Savannah by Patty Callahan Henry, or just Patty Callahan, this one. Sunflower Sisters by Martha Hell Kelly. The Sugar Queen by Sarah Addison Allen. I haven't read her books in a while and I really like her. The Storm Sister, the second in the Seven Sisters series by Lucinda Riley. Thorn in My Heart, the beginnings of a biblical retelling of the story of Jacob, Rachel, and Leah by Liz Curtis Higgs. True Colors, the only Kristen Hanna on the shelf. The True Story of Hansel and Gretel by Louise Murphy. Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jessie Q. Sutanto. Washington Black by Essie Edugian. The Waterkeeper by Charles Martin. And What She Left Behind by Ellen Marie Wiseman. That is all the ones that actually fit onto the cart. But I do have a few others that are my middle grade books. So I do have these also alphabetized by title. And these again will live on my middle grade shelf. And hopefully I'll get to a bunch of them this year. The first is Blackbird Girls by Anne Blankman. Then we have The Book Scavenger by Jennifer Chambliss Burtman. The Borrowers by Mary Norton. Daddy Longlegs by Jean Webster, which I think might technically be YA. I don't know, it's kind of a classic, but it lives with my middle grades. Oh, Dead End in Norvelt by Jack Gantos. This might actually go back up onto my Newbery shelf, as well as Dicey Song by Cynthia Voigt. That also is a Newbery winner. The Edge of In Between by Lorelei Savrin. Fablehaven by Brandon Mole. The only graphic novel ever to make it onto my recommendations card is Global by Owen Colfer and Andrew Donkin, illustrated by Giovanni Rigano. This one was sent to me. Kind of fun to have a graphic novel on the cart. Homecoming by Cynthia Voigt, which is the first book in, I believe, the trilogy that Dicey Song is book 2 or 3. So this one would have to get read first. Insignificant Events in the Life of a Cactus by Dusty Bowling. Julia and the Shark by Kieran Millwood Hargrave. The Lightning Thief. How is it that I've never read this? By Rick Riordan. I can't believe it. Milkweed by Jerry Spinelli. A Mystery Premeditated Myrtle by Elizabeth C. Bunce. Rain Rain by Anne M. Martin. Redwall by Brian Jack. This is the beginning of a quite long middle grade series where their main character is a rat or a mouse. Starfish by Akemi Dawn Bowman. The Story Collector by Kristen O'Donnell Tubb. The fourth or fifth in the Pages & Co. series. This is the Treehouse Library by Anna James. Tumble and Blue by Cassie Beasley. The Wonderling by Mira Bartok. And Words on Fire by Jennifer A. Nielsen. There were a couple that I couldn't find. Winterfrost by Michelle Houts is a middle grade. I just used it when I did that Christmas scavenger hunt. Winterfrost was one of the books, so I know it's here somewhere. I just don't know where it is. And also, I thought there was one more. Follow the Rabbit Proof Fence by Doris Pilkington. I have no idea what I did with the book. It's here somewhere. Dollmaker of Krakow by R.M. Romero. I need to clean out my middle grade shelf because that's another middle grade, and I looked through the shelf, but I couldn't find it. And I think that's it. Yeah, so those 3 are here somewhere. I just need to find them. So that is all the books that I've added to my cart per your recommendations. Thank you so much to everybody who looked through my owned TBR shelf on Goodreads. Again, If you want to vote on which ones that I should read, which ones I should prioritize, the link for my Goodreads list will be down below. You can feel free to vote for as many as you would like. And let me know if any of these sound really good to you. If any of these are probably not ones that I'm going to like. I feel like I'm going to like all of them. I obviously am not going to read all of them this year, but I will do my best to read a bunch of them. Many of them will fit into different prompts for my TBR game, like Book of the Month and NetGalley. Some of the NetGalley ones are on here. Yeah, just different ones can fit into different categories. So hopefully I can get a bunch of them read this year. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for voting on which ones I should prioritize. And thank you so much for your recommendations. I look forward to chatting with you in another video very soon. Bye.